Hey guys, what is up everybody and welcome to a new video. In today's video I want to share with you my point of view why D2C business model is probably one of the best business models you might have in today's world as a small business or entrepreneurs, and why actually all big brands nowadays actually pursuing this goal to establish D2C business instead of traditional one. But before we go there, let's actually speak about traditional business models. And that is the ones which been known for decades now, right? So where you have brand or manufacturers, and in the middle you have middlemen, which can be store chains or someone else like a marketplace, and then you have a consumer on the other end, right? So, and in that business model, you have certain disadvantages. First of all, you don't really know your client because the whole communication between, consumer and the product goes through the middleman. So middleman is actually the person who's collecting all the data about the client. And we know that in today's world, if you want to, let's say, nail your product, or if you want to perfect your product, you have to be in touch with your consumers, because that's where you have more data, and your improvement should be data driven. And that's what big brands do. Like, they try to connect with their customers, they try to communicate with their customers, and they adjust their product based on the feedback they receive. But in this case, the middleman is actually the one who is collecting all the data, and you don't have access to this data. So you sort of rely on them. So you also depend on middleman performance. And what I mean by that is, the middleman is the one who is making decisions. So they make decisions how much they want to promote your product, whether they want to promote your product or competition. And also you depend on their planning, execution, forecasting, like all those things which come from them. You also have to follow the rules. Let's say if they say that they want special packaging, you have to follow. It might be additional procedure for you. It might be even more investment from your end, because you need to, pack your product in a certain way. They might require you some marketing budget whatsoever. So you always tight with them. They're the one who sets the rules for this game. Of course, if we talk about situation where you're a smaller brand, because bigger brands, they have a little bit different power when we talk about middlemen. It's just different set of interests there. And also, when you work through the middlemen, they cut your profit, because they need to have profit as well, and it's completely normal. But that's the thing, you just earn a little bit less money, which you potentially can use for marketing or product development or anything else. But there is also like the list of advantages. I will just highlight a couple of things. And first of all, they already have process in place. What it means, they have their client database, they have last mile procedure and marketing and all those things from their end. So if you're a small brand, or if you're a small supplier, working with such companies, they will actually take a lot of work from your shoulders. You just need to supply your product there, and they will be able to fulfill everything else. Again, it's all depends on where you are in this kind of like brand journey. Are you in really beginning, or you're somewhere in the middle, or you're already quite recognizable brand or product. But then you have D2C business model. So basically, D2C business model eliminates the middleman. Many brands today actually pursue this goal to move towards this business model, because internet is your middleman, and internet is free, and that's where you're able to communicate to the clients, you're able to promote to the clients, to your consumers, and you're able actually to communicate with them and get a feedback. As an existing consumer, they ask me my opinion, but also they give me options, right? So what if we do ABC? Which way you prefer to have your product? And based on that, they're able to understand, okay, we produce, let's say, a certain car, and not so many people need autopilot. So why would we charge them for autopilot? Maybe we're going to do that in a way that we just optionally offer this autopilot to everyone else. but those people who don't want it, they just buy the car without autopilot. But if later in the days they want to have it, we're gonna charge them like $6,000 and they're gonna have it. That's just, rough example. Basically, the advantages of D2C business model when you have your own platform. It can be your online store, it can be maybe social media, whatsoever. It can be even your physical shops. For example, many premium brands, they actually do keep physical shops, and the reason why, because they're not only able to communicate with the clients, they're actually able to profile them, so they can, because when you have like actually physical connection with a person, you can understand how much he or she able to buy certain products, whether they are the person who making decisions or maybe someone else make decisions on behalf of them. And that's gives you a little bit extra information, and also it allows you to upsell those people, because selling product physically one-to-one, especially for the premium brands, you're able to understand how much more you can sell. But we're not talking about premium brands and like big brands, we're talking about small businesses and entrepreneurs. So why D2C is what advantages D2C has for small businesses? First of all, I mentioned it already, direct connection, communication. You can profile your clients. You know the age, average income, you understand how often they buy, why they buy, and you also can see what else they buy. Maybe it's not your brand, not your products, what other products they buy, so you can sort of understand how you can relate to that. You are flexible in a way that once you get a feedback, and you can get feedback at any given time, you're able to improve your product on the go. Let's say you issue your product every 6 months or every year, so basically during this year you're able to gain as much feedback as you can, and with the next iteration of your product you can produce the product which will meet expectations of your existing database, and they might represent actually the bigger audience. Another advantage which you have here is scalability, and by scalability I mean that if you're going through the middleman, you're actually limited by the area or by their audience which they are targeting. But then let's say through the internet you can reach new audiences, you can reach new geographies, you can reach new potential customers, and you're able to test it as quick as you can. Let's say you sell your products within the UK, and then you get a request, and the guy is from South Africa. Yes, you can send it there, you can see your logistic cost, you can understand how happy people in that country, how well they receive the product. And what you can do, you can start shipping there, because it's just easy for you, since you don't have a middleman. You can actually get more profit, and you can see how you can use this profit or bigger profit for improving your brand, for improving your operations, or maybe for making or like doing more marketing activities. But there is also some disadvantages, right? So for D2C, especially if you're small business or small brand, there is a huge competition in general, and if nobody knows you, to put your product out there and to prove that people need your product compared to any other competition, it's hard. So when you go through the middleman can influence that, because they sort of can play this game where they can put your product in nicer place, they can list it on their website in the front page, whatsoever. So they know how to do things because they already know their audience. So if you're small brand, small name, and you start in your D2C business, it can be tough. It will take time. So you either need publicity or you need more marketing activities, and by marketing activities you have to run certain campaigns, maybe you need to work with influencers. So it's kind of like big budget you have to plan if you have strong desire to pursue this goal. But eventually, if you speak about long-term goals, right? So if you play in long-term game, your own brand, your own platform, your own communication with the clients, it always capitalizes the best. Apple, Tesla, what they do, they try to eliminate middlemen, because middlemen is for their business can be a bottleneck. And what they do, they just sell product to you directly. They talk to you directly, they know you better, and they able to create products or improve existing products based on your preferences, just to meet your expectations. And they in full control of what's happening. And they establish this trustability, let's say. They have this loyalty from people, from their customers, and they just more flexible, and they can be faster in certain things. If you're just starting, or if you already have sort of your audience, D2C can be the only way to go. And for me, to be honest, like whatever I do, I'm trying to establish D2C. Of course, in certain scenarios, you have to look at other options, because it all depends again on brand, on audience, on market, whatsoever. But if you play in long-term game, and if you're sort of try to build your brand, D2C is what gives you better value, and what allows you to capitalize your brand long term. Let me know what you guys think about it. Leave your comments down below. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Let's discuss it. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.